Sponsored by CuriosityStream. Last year, I asked for three main things when it came to iPhone 11 photography: an ultra-wide camera, a night mode, and portrait video. And yeah, to fix all those weird skin tones and textures in Smart HDR. We didn't get portrait video, but 3 out of 4 wasn't bad at all. It was enough to convince all the doomsayers, boards now, and must skippers out there that the iPhone 11 and its cameras were far closer to must-have. You know, something anyone watching this channel had known about long before they were even announced. But time and expectations are relentless, and while it sounds like this year with the iPhone 12 we'll be getting the time-of-flight sensor and augmented reality camera, basically true depth on the back, that I've been hearing about and looking forward to seeing for a few years now, there are still lots of other things Apple could do to improve, to round out iPhone photography, even if it's in years to come. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. Last year, one of the rumors from Guomingqi and other supply chain looky-loos was that Apple would adopt a special black lens coating that would hide the cameras on the iPhone 11, sort of like tinted windows. Now, obviously that didn't pan out. In fact, we got the opposite, a 3-camera system so wickedly all up in our faces that Apple had to lean so far into it that they ended up putting it up on billboards. Right now, this week, at CES 2020, OnePlus is showing off a McLaren concept phone that does something remarkably similar. It uses electrochromatic glass, like you'd find in McLaren supercars, to switch between transparent and translucent verging on opaque states. When the cameras are all off, all you see is smooth black glass. But launch the camera app and 0.7 seconds later, cameras all the way down. Cosmetically, it looks great as we keep adding more and more cameras, and it feels like Nokia is up to a baker's dozen already. The stranger and stranger the backs of our phones keep looking, like spider eyes on moonscapes. Sure, right now, I'm all about the iPhone 4 style squared off design, and the squared off bump could still hide lenses, if not, the bump. But if Apple ever wants to go the other way and return to the curved iPhone 3G design, even the bump could be made to look gone. Functionally though, things get even more interesting. The electrochromatic glass also works as a neutral density, or ND filter. ND filters are typically used, for example, on bright days when you're shooting outside and you want to limit the amount of light that gets captured, so you can avoid things like blowing out the sky, but still keep the accuracy of the colors. It's like sunglasses for your camera. Now, Smart HDR on the iPhone already does a pretty great job at handling bright outdoor captures. It basically exposes for both light and dark, but with a few levels of ND available, it could work even better in an even wider range of conditions, especially if, unlike OnePlus where you have to dive into pro settings to enable it, it just came on and worked when needed, like night mode, but a bright mode, so to speak. The iPhone camera already works that way because Apple treats it that way, like a single system rather than like a bunch of separate parts. It's not a camera body where you have to manually screw a bunch of different virtual lenses on and off just to get a range of useful shots. It's meant to be more like a point and shoot, where you just click the button and it does everything it can, uses every different discrete camera size and computational mode to deliver the best possible capture it can of whatever you're pointing it at the time. Ultra-wide angle, deep fusion, they're all just implementation details that, for now, Apple uses a super exciting marketing term to make them sound all sci-fi and sexy, but which I imagine will fade away sooner rather than later, the way telephoto and deep trench isolation have. Still, any system is only as good, or should I say as useful, as the sum of its parts. Last year we got a new part, that ultra-wide angle. I'd been seeing all the great photos all my friends with LG and other phones had been getting using ultra-wide angle cameras for years, and I was hella jealous. You can fake telephoto good enough by stepping up or cropping in, but you can't fake ultra-wide anywhere nearly as well. Computationally, there's just no data to draw from, and sneaker zoom, well, that doesn't help you if you have to exit the room or the view you're trying to shoot in. For everyone who kept saying not having an ultra-wide was fine, everything's fine. Literally everyone else was out enjoying shooting with their ultra-wides. This year though, I'm all about the macro. See, ultra-wide is getting the big picture, but macro is about getting all the smallest details. One of my favorite lenses on my big camera is the Canon 100mm macro. I use it for way more than just macros, but I love using it especially for macros. And they're no longer just the providence of big cameras either. We're starting to see them on other phones now as well. Even the just announced Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite has one. And for the same reason we started seeing ultra-wides years ago. They're fun. Getting super close to a flower or insect or Lego minifig or Mac Pro backplane or being able to see the pentile subpixel layout of an OLED display, all of it, all caps fun. First we had wide angle, then telephoto, then ultra wide angle. Macro just feels like what's next, from all the way out to all the way in. And that brings me to computational zoom, which, unlike the previous two, is something I actually do think we could see as soon as this year and the iPhone 12. The benefit of having a point and shoot over a body and lens system is that you can do most things without having to change lenses. But in order for that to work, the camera has to let you do those most things. I've been shooting with the Google Pixel 4 for a few months now, and it's also a fun camera. But by and large, I haven't really needed to shoot with it as much as I thought I would. The iPhone 11 just crushes it in video, which is a big part of my personal workflow. I prefer Apple's color science, quirky as it can be at times, to Google's constantly solving for the same cool look. And night mode keeps up with night sight, even if each of them has their own strengths and weaknesses. But what the Pixel 4 has that I miss every time I pick up the iPhone 11 is super res zoom. It's built off of what a lot of computational photography is built off of, using big silicon and big algorithms to make up for the lack of big sensors and big glass. More specifically, by taking a bunch of frames incredibly quickly, then chewing through them, keeping only the best bits, and presenting you with a final image better than any of its under, over, or OIS shifted parts. So, for zoom, instead of just giving you a gross pixel-embiggened end product, it sifts through all the data from all the ever so slightly different frames to piece together one single crisp photo far better than any purely digital zoom has ever produced before. It's not optical zoom quality, just like portrait mode depth of field still isn't optical depth of field perfect, but it's similarly impressive for glass flat enough to be welded onto the back of a phone. Apple already has similar technology in Smart HDR, they're just not yet applying it to a smart zoom, and I really wish they would, because it remains one of the few things not only the Pixel camera does better, but traditional cameras still do better as well. Add that in and fix the weird light aberrations we're still seeing in some shots, and that would be outstanding. Almost as outstanding as bundling Nebula with CuriosityStream. Nebula is the video platform built by and for independent creators like Legal Eagle, Tierzoo, Polyphonic, Wendover, Kento Bento, Super Bunny Hop, 12 Tone, and yours truly. We're building it because we want a place for educational creators to try out new content ideas that might not work on YouTube, or for people who simply don't want to watch on YouTube, including cool new original series like Working Titles and the Logistics of D-Day. And because it now comes bundled with CuriosityStream, you also get access to thousands of documentaries and series, like Trek Nation, from the son of the creator of Star Trek, that explores his famous father's creations and how it has affected people. By signing up for just $19.99 a year, you won't just be helping me out, but the entire educational community, as we work together to build a place where we can create exactly the kind of content you really want us to create. Just go to curiositystream.com/vector for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series, and now Nebula as well. And enter the promo code VECTOR to start your membership completely free for the first 31 days. Thanks CuriosityStream, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. So, that's what I'd love to see from iPhone photography both this year and in years to come. Now, I'd love to know what you want to see. Hit like if you do, subscribe, and super zoom that bell gizmo. It's the only way YouTube will actually alert you when new videos go live. Then hit up the comments and let me know. Augmented reality, macro, neutral density, zoom, something else entirely. What do you want next? Thanks for watching. See you next video.